Hey everybody, it's Brooke with The Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. I am here to ruffle all the feathers today. First, I will ruffle your feathers in two ways. One is I'm gonna dispel a myth surrounding the food that I'm gonna cook today. And two, I'm gonna show you how to cook it and make it a little more healthy. So I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers, but that's okay. We hope you'll watch to the end anyway. But today we're gonna show you how to make oven fried green tomatoes. And y'all, I promise I live with the biggest skeptic that there is. And I made these in testing before we ever shot the pictures for the website. And you know, everything I make, I take to Danny and I like give it to him to taste. and he took it and oh, that's so good. And I said, it's good for you. It's healthy. It was made with healthy things and you don't miss a thing. Now, yes, the consistency is slightly different because we don't deep fry them. But I promise you that's something that you really can live without. It is. It just is. So let me quit talking, move this camera, and let's get started. Oh, wait. I have to punch you in the gut one way first. These were not developed in Alabama. So I love fried green tomatoes, the book, the movie. I love fried green tomatoes, all things. But these were not invented at the Whistle Stop Cafe in North Alabama. They were not. They were this is actually traditional 1800s Jewish food. Yes, it is. This is a Jewish recipe. And so I hate to break all the fried green tomato fan hearts out there, but this was not invented by two wayward ladies who owned a cafe and killed a man in Alabama. So that is myth number one that I'm squelching today. The second one will be to show you that you can have these and they can be healthy. So let's get on with that. So stay with us. All right, so I have a traditional breading station set up here, and I'm telling y'all, this is just like so many of the other healthier recipes that I do. This is just about simple substitutions, okay? In simple substitutions for the ways that you cook your food. So I'm gonna talk about two ways to do this. I like to do it on just a sheet pan, and you can spray that with a little bit of cooking spray, or you can fit it with parchment paper. And then I also have a liner for my Instant Pot because I have a crisper lid that turns my Instant Pot into an air fryer. So we're going to talk about how you can make them in the air fryer and how you can make them in the oven. Because if you're like me, you didn't jump on the air fryer bandwagon until late. I just didn't need another gadget. I just didn't. So the Milthy pot that I love, that's my pressure cooker, came out with a lid, a crisper lid, and I'll show it to you real quick, that turns your pressure cooker into an air fryer. And see, it's got the air circulation, and it's even got a clear thing on there so you can watch your food while you're cooking it, and it works great. The only thing is it's not large capacity. Most standard air fryers that you get are not. So if you're cooking for just one or two people, it's perfect. But if you're cooking for more than that, then you may want to do the sheet pan method and use your trusty old oven because it works really just as good as an air fryer. I mean, I hate to speak that, but it just does. It cooks a lot more. And if you cook at high heat, which we do with these, then you are actually cooking just probably as fast as you would. I mean, you might save yourself 2 minutes, 2 whole minutes. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is prepare our breading station. I have my oven preheated to 425 degrees. And in our dry station, we are going to put in a half a cup of finely milled almond flour. And you can find this, y'all, at just about any grocery store. Good old almond flour. And whenever you're doing things like breading vegetables, it's a really, really good substitute. Now, I also found some green tomatoes in my produce section and they're usually near the tomatoes, but if your tomatoes are up on the stand, if you look below them on the bottom, a lot of times the grocery store will have a shelf down there below them, you'll find the green tomatoes. And we have cut those anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. You should be able to get 4 slices out of each tomato. So we've done 3 tomatoes, but this recipe will surely make enough for 3 to 4 tomatoes sliced and get 3 to 4 good slices out of each. So to our almond flour, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. And see, this is what makes the breading so good, is the seasonings that you put in it. So these are just a sampling of what you can do. By all means, like most things, we tell you at the Buttered Home to try different things and see what you like. And then we do a pretty good amount. We do about 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, just simply because we like ours to have a little more bite. You can use less, you can use none, or you can substitute it with something else. Now I'm going to wash my hands because I have handled that cayenne pepper. I think I've told y'all before. Immediately wash your hands after handling any hot raw pepper or any cayenne or other hot powders, because they will cause a flare up with your eyes if you mistakenly touch your face or your mouth. So you want to be real careful. All right, so again, that is 1/2 cup of almond flour, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, I love this pink salt. It doesn't have, it's organic, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it is a good substitute, and you can use a lot less of it and stuff be salty. So that's why it's so good. It's like salt in its purest form, and you don't have to use nearly as much as you do of regular table salt. So we put about anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt in there, just to kind of add a little flavor. So that is our dry ingredients, and we're just going to mix those up. For our dry station, and make sure that we get all that in there. And that's easy enough. So if you wanted to do more or fewer of these tomatoes, you certainly could, and just alter your recipe to add a little more, a little less. It's fairly easy. It's 1/2 cup and just about 1/2 teaspoon of everything. So if you want to double it, you do 1 of everything, and do 1/4 of everything if you didn't need as much. Easy peasy. So to this is our wet station. We have 1 egg, okay? Eggs, happy, healthy protein, good for you. And then to that, we're going to use unsweetened, unflavored almond milk in place, I know, in place of buttermilk. But look, okay, you can try doing this in biscuits, right, and it's fine. But in things like this where you just need wet ingredients just to make things stick, I mean, milk is milk, and the almond milk is so much better for you. I mean, you don't have near the bad stuff, the sugars. I mean, this has less than 1 gram of carbs. It only has 2.5 grams of fat, no cholesterol, and it's still full of all the same vitamin D and calcium that regular milk would be. And that's in a cup, and y'all, we used 1/2 cup. So you got less than 1 gram of fat and not even 1/2 of a carb in here. And I challenge you, look at your milk. Your milk is a lot different. And literally, we are using this to wet the tomato slices. It's small changes like this that make a big difference, make a really big difference. So when you can make substitutions that you can live with, I mean, do them. You can save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of extra weight on your hips and everything else. So we're going to do this just with the traditional method. We're going to put our tomato slices in our milk and egg mixture, and you can let them sit a little while if you want to, but I just really put mine in there, get them all the way down in there, and flip them over. Now I'm going to fit a couple to put in my air fryer, and we're going to use these in our air fryer at the same temperature, which will be 400 degrees to 425, depending on how high the temperature goes in your air fryer. Mine, I believe, only goes up to 400. The difference is the cooking time is probably going to be less. So the verdict is out on that. So when we come back from the break, I will let you know how long it took them to cook in the air fryer. But we're looking at a 10 to 15 to almost 20-minute cook time in the oven at 425, which is not terrible, okay? It's not terrible, especially if you're cooking a meal for your family. I just flip that guy over and use my fork in the dry and then pick it up, and then I tap it off because we don't need a ton of crust on here. We just don't. I'm going to get a little smaller one and do the same thing with it. Shake that dry batter up. The thing is to make sure you shake off that excess liquid, and then make sure that you bump off that excess dry. And even if you're deep frying, that's still a really good idea to do that, okay? So there's ours that we're going to put in our air fryer, and we'll fit that in there, and we'll let you know what the verdict is on that. Now the rest of these are going to go on a lightly sprayed sheet pan to go in the 425 degree oven. And I'm just going to do a couple because I won't bore you with the whole process of me breading everything. And then we just dredge it in there, tap off the excess, and then fit it on our sheet pan. So we'll go through and do all of our tomatoes that way. And it really is the same method. You're just not popping them into a deep fryer at all. And that is the small substitutions that you make, along with just the battering. You know, it's not rocket science. So we're going to continue to batter all these and place them on our sheet pan. Then what we will do is we will take a little Parmesan cheese and we'll sprinkle those over the top with that Parmesan cheese, and that adds that crunch that you're looking for, that you can get in the oven, that you're gonna miss if you don't deep fry them. I mean, that's just part of it. Whenever you substitute the method by cooking, the Parmesan cheese is what's going to help get you there. It's dry, it's fantabulous, that's your new word for this week, and it creates that crispy crust. So we're going to get the rest of these battered. We're going to pop them into our 425 degree oven and our 400 degree air fryer, and then I'm going to let you know how long it took to cook the ones in the air fryer, but we'll be back for sure in about 10 to 15 minutes and show you what they look like flipped over. Actually, no. We're going to cook these 10 to 15 minutes, flip them over, put more parm on them, pop them back in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes more. Then we're going to come back and show you the finished product. So now that I've confused you good, stay with us. Okay, I just wanted to show you real quick. I finished a 10-minute cook time and flipped these guys over, and then I sprinkled them with a little more Parmesan cheese, but you can see how they're getting a really nice brown crispy color. This is in the oven. These are the ones from the air fryer. They are done. They were done in 4 minutes on each side, and listen, let me see. Nice, crispy, delicious, ready to eat. I mean, fantastic, guilt-free, oven fried or air fried fried green tomato. So we'll be back when the ones in the oven get done and show you the finished product. Okay, everybody, we are back. We have finished a 20-minute total cook time on our ones that were in the oven at 425 degrees. And we finished an 8-minute total cook time on the ones that I showed you were in the air fryer. Okay, so I'm just going to be honest with you. This is one of the hang-ups that I have with the air fryer. They are crispy and done and wonderful and perfect on the outside, but they're still a little firm on the inside. They were cool, they were not cool, they were warm and they were cooked, but they're just a little too ripe, I guess. If a green tomato can be ripe, a little too fresh. Now, if you like them that consistency, then the air fryer is the way to go. So this is the problem that I have with cooking some stuff in the air fryer, is that I'm just afraid that it gets too done on the outside before it gets done like I want it on the inside. So I'm still kind of a skeptic when it comes to the air fryer. Changed my mind. No. Really, it's good in a pinch, but really, 20 minutes compared to 8, to get the texture that I want, it does a lot for me just to stick with the good old oven. Now, I still use my air fryer for lots of things, but the fried green tomatoes I'm probably going to just stick with the oven. So here are the ones out of the oven, and they have just that wonderful cheese and breadcrumb texture. They're crispy and done, and it only took 20 minutes. And then these are the ones out of the air fryer, and they are crispy and done on the outside too. I'm just afraid if I cook them any longer to get the inside like I want them, that they would be too done on the outside. That's my only hang up with that. I am so sorry. My allergies, there is something blooming around here today, and my head is running, and it makes me have to clear my throat incessantly. I'm sorry. But y'all, so the one thing, and I know it's hard to see this, but whenever you cut into them with a fork, like I can feel it, they're still a little firm on the ones that are from the air fryer. They're good. I'm going to eat them. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just the ones that were cooked in the oven are a whole lot easier to cut, and they come apart a little bit easier, and they have more of that cooked all the way through texture, and they're really hot, or I'd take a bite, but they're steaming. But they're crispy and they're wonderful. And comparing the two cooking methods side by side, I'm gonna go with the oven fried over the air fried every time, because they don't get too done on the outside before the center is just like I like them. But if I gotta have some in a pinch, then I'm gonna use the air fryer, and I'm just gonna watch them and maybe up my cook time from 4 minutes on each side to probably about 6. And hopefully they won't get too done. But if you do use the air fryer method, just keep an eye on them like so many other things. I think this guy's cool enough now. Let me make sure I won't scorch the inside of my mouth. Crispy, wonderful, flavorful, and you didn't miss a thing. And y'all, these guys come in at, and I don't have it, but it's on the recipe card at the website. I printed off the recipe from my own recipe card and did not print the nutritional information. Will wonders ever cease, right? So, but trust me on this, just making those few substitutions that we made and not frying them, not deep frying them, makes a huge difference. So all you gotta do, you can still have really good Southern fare type food. You just have to rethink a few things. And hopefully we can help you do that and get you thinking about how you can make all the same things that you love and just make them a tad healthier. Because a healthy life, a good life, a long life, that's what we aspire to have, is to be here a little bit longer so that we can share the gospel with as many people as we can and bring others to know Jesus I mean, that's what our purpose is. It's to be here to lead others to Him, and we want to do that and be healthy to do that. And one of the ways that we can have some control over that is what goes in our mouth, right? So, but now it's all about balance too, because like, is it not next week, but the week after? Yeah, the week after, we're not sharing something that's so healthy, but it's good. So it's all about balance, and we hope that we're showing you some balance too, that how you can have some treats every once in a while, and by and large, rethink how you cook some of your comfort food favorites and really not miss a thing and not have to worry so much because you're doing something good for yourself. So, and for the ones that you love. So we hope that you try this recipe and enjoy it as much as we have. Big D, my skeptic, loves them. He walked through here a minute ago and I said, don't touch, not yet. When I'm done filming, you can have all of them, every last one of them if you want them, but not before. Plus they were really hot. He would have burned his mouth. So we hope you enjoyed this recipe. We've got some really great stuff left this month to share with you. So we hope that you'll be here with us every week so that we can share with you and spread the buttered home love. See what I did there? Spread that buttered home love. Always, if you're not already, make sure that you're following us on all of our social channels because we have a really good time and we want you here for everything that we're doing. And as usual, if you haven't, this recipe and all of our others can be found with a nice printable recipe card over at thebutteredhome.com. And we love and appreciate all the visits that you give us over there. That website, we do earn a little bit from ads on it, but that helps keep our content free for you. It helps pay for all that we do here to share these wonderful recipes and get you thinking about your food. So we hope that you'll give us a visit over there. And if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, make sure that you go over to YouTube to the Buttered Home channel and hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. We love y'all, but we got some oven fried green tomatoes that we got to eat, and Big D is impatient. So I hope y'all have a wonderful week, and we'll see you here next week. Same Buttered Home time, same Buttered Home place. So from the Buttered Home to your home, we love you guys. Bye.